The wind whispered gently through the trees as Akio stood at the base of the old mountain path. He wasn't anyone special, just a quiet boy from a quiet village. But something inside him felt unsettled, like a drum beating softly in the distance. For weeks he had stared at the path that wound up the forested hillside, too afraid to take even one step forward. His grandfather, old Hiroshi, had climbed that path every day in his youth. They said it led to a place where people found answers, but only those who didn't turn back. Akio wasn't sure what he was searching for. He only knew that staying where he was no longer felt right. That morning, as the sun broke through the trees and painted the ground in gold, he whispered to himself, "Just one step, that's all." Akio's footsteps were soft, barely stirring the leaves beneath him. Each step felt louder than the last, not because of sound, but because of doubt. His mind whispered all the reasons to stop. "You're too weak. You'll get lost. What if nothing's up there?" The path narrowed, roots twisted like old fingers across the dirt, and a gentle mist began to settle. Akio paused, heart beating fast, and turned to look back. The village still lay quietly in the distance, safe, familiar, still. From somewhere beyond the trees he heard a voice, not loud, not clear. But it wasn't from outside, it was from within, soft, firm. "Keep going." And so, he did. A little farther up the path, Akio came across an old wooden bench, weathered and half covered in moss. Sitting on it was a man, thin, still, eyes closed like he was listening to something the forest was saying. Akio slowed, unsure if he should pass or speak. The man opened his eyes, not surprised to see him. He smiled, the kind of smile that didn't need words. "You're early," the man said. Akio frowned. "Early for what?" "For the part where you almost turn around." Akio blinked, startled. "How did you know?" The man stood slowly, his movements patient. "Everyone turns around, right before it begins to matter." Then he stepped off the trail and disappeared into the trees, as if he'd never been there at all. If this light speaks to something inside you, subscribe and ring the bell. Maybe it's time to stop hiding your own. Akio stood there for a moment, unsure if what he saw was real or imagined. The man's words echoed louder than the wind. "Right before it begins to matter." He kept walking. The trees grew denser. The light dimmed. The silence deepened. His legs ached, and every breath felt heavier. A part of him wanted to sit, to rest, to turn around. But something had shifted. Not in the path, but in him. Ahead, the trail curved around a stone wall covered in vines. As he turned the corner, he saw it. A small shrine made of old wood and quiet time. No signs, no gold, no answers. Just stillness. In the center, a single stone lantern, unlit. Akio stepped closer, unsure why, but feeling like he belonged there. There was no sign telling him what to do, no voice, no clear reason to stay. But Akio sat in front of the lantern, closed his eyes, and waited. Time passed, maybe minutes, maybe hours. The forest didn't measure time the way people did. Then, from somewhere behind the silence, a soft sound, a flint striking. He opened his eyes. The lantern was lit. A warm, steady flame danced inside it, though he had touched nothing. Akio felt something shift in his chest. Not fear, not surprise, something quieter. He realized something then. Not everything in life needed to be figured out. Some things only needed one step forward. And that one step had brought him here. Akio didn't return the way he came. He didn't need to. The path had changed, but only because he had. That night, back in the village, no one noticed anything different about him. He still walked the same, still spoke softly, still smiled the way he always had. But inside, something was lit. And sometimes, that's all it takes. Not a big leap, not a perfect plan, just a quiet decision to take one step forward when everything in you says stay still. Because the smallest step can lead you exactly where you're meant to be. What's the one step you've been avoiding, and what would happen if you finally took it?